Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. It's week 9 in college football, and this is our always very interesting, very popular spot that we do every Thursday afternoon with Steve from collegefootballwinning.com, who covers one college game with us in depth. His thoughts are obviously very valuable. He has a great long-term record of success handicapping only college football at his site, collegefootballwinning.com. We'll hear a little bit more about that after his analysis of the game he's chosen this week, which is Maryland, Iowa. Now, Steve, this is an interesting one because Iowa, of course, has been a phenomenal team against the spread this year overall. They're 5-2 ATS, and their 2 ATS losses were very close. They came by a combined 2.5 points. One of them was like a 9-point win where they closed as a 10.5-point favorite. We might have a similar situation here, though. They're a big favorite against Maryland. The line is -17 right now. Relatively low total. It's 53.5 market-wide heritage. It's a lean towards 53. I'm confused about the side here. If I had to make a bet, though, I would take a shot with the under at 53.5. Maryland, of course, coming off of the very close home loss to Penn State, the coaching change, a lot of turmoil there, but they're still not a pushover, although they were shut out earlier this year by good defenses, so they have an offense that easily can be held down. They put up 30 last week. Iowa -17, an interesting line. Why'd you pick this game, Steve?
I picked this game for 6 reasons.
Okay.
Reason number 1, Perry Hills at quarterback for Maryland. Maryland, I don't know if you know or if most people watching this know the background of Perry Hills as the starting quarterback at Maryland, but this season he started. The first 2 games he was the starter, then he was replaced very quickly for 3 games, and then he came back. So he was named again as starter for the last 2 games, and especially with Mike Locksley, the offensive coordinator turned interim head coach, he emphatically stated when he took over the reins at the head coaching position that Perry Hills is his starting quarterback. So give you an idea, the difference, and you talked about it, shutout before when Perry Hills was not the starting quarterback.
Right.
But with Perry Hills at quarterback, he averages, or the Maryland offense, their production is averaging 418 yards per game. Without him, just 281 yards per game. So it's 48.75% more offensive production with Hills. In terms of points scored, 33.75 points per game average with Perry Hills as the starting quarterback this season. Without him, just a paltry 13.67 points per game. That's a difference of 147% more points with him as the starter. So really like that move. Iowa's quarterback, C.J. Beathard, good quarterback, good, solid Big Ten quarterback, not 100%. Give you an idea, he is a running threat himself, and that's a very important part of his game. Before Northwestern, which was Iowa's last game, Beathard's average rush was 4.68 yards per carry. Now, with Northwestern, when he was clearly hampered by a leg injury, he averaged just 1/4 of a yard per rush. Now, Beathard is responsible for more than 16% of all of Iowa's carries. And speaking of Iowa as a running team, they're going to have no Jordan Kanziri, who's their leading rusher. He's responsible for more than 45% of their carries, half of Iowa's rushing touchdowns, and he was the number 2 rusher in terms of rushing yards in the Big Ten, second only to Zeke Elliott of Ohio State. Iowa is, as I said, a rushing team primarily. They run more than 61% of the time. They have a capable backup, but there might be some ball control issues there. His name is Akram Wadley. Might be some ball control issues there. Maryland's rushing defense. So if we understand that Iowa's a run-first team, Maryland's rushing defense versus the Big Ten, and now keeping in mind that this Maryland team has played their Big Ten opponents so far this season, Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State. So no slouches there. Maryland's rushing defense versus those 3 schools in terms of yards per carry ranks 3rd. That's after playing those pretty impressive Big Ten schools. No Iowa starting defensive end Drew Ott. How important is that? Drew Ott led Iowa in tackles for loss the last 2 seasons, this one and last, and he was the top 3 on the team for sacks in each of the last 3 seasons. So Perry Hills, the quarterback from Maryland, he is definitely the most dangerous running threat at quarterback that Iowa will have faced this year. And without Drew Ott, that can be a problem for Iowa. Certainly it doesn't help things. Turnover margin. Maryland is dead last in the country, Peter, for turnover margin. They rank 128th out of 128 FBS teams. It's horrible. But how did that happen? 20 interceptions. 13 of those interceptions were thrown by the other two quarterbacks, not Perry Hills. Versus the FBS, Iowa ranks 6th in turnover margin. In fact, Iowa has scored 24.35% of their points off of turnovers. Now, you've heard me say this many times, Peter, through the years. Counting on turnovers, especially for points, is more gambling than reliably predictive. So if you're just depending on Maryland to throw lots of interceptions and for Iowa to get lots of turnovers, and that's how you think Iowa's going to cover the spread, I think that is more gambling, and I think you might be in some trouble there. So my conclusion, as of right now, and once again, it could change because we're 2 days before kickoff as we're taping this. So I like Maryland getting as many points as possible. There are even some places you can get them right now at 17.5, both online and here in Las Vegas.
Interesting and thorough analysis, as always, from Steve from collegefootballwinning.com. Iowa's been great ATS so far this year, but do they have the kind of team that's justifiable as a 17-point favorite? Steve from collegefootballwinning.com says no and recommends a play on Maryland at plus 17. Of course, plus 17.5 if you can get it. Steve, tell us a little bit more about what you do at your website, collegefootballwinning.com, and, of course, highlight your long-term record of success there.
Thank you, Peter. At collegefootballwinning.com, all we do is college football betting analysis all year round, even in the off season, so 365 days a year. We're a company founded on making betting recommendations algorithmically, so using sets of algorithms. Those algorithmic sets we call our formula, and the formula lifetime going into the season is 62.75% against the spread. So far, for all of our betting recommendations, the formula and everything else otherwise, this season we're 59.09% against the spread. That's all of our betting recommendations, more than 90 betting recommendations so far. Here's something I don't think I've ever mentioned in a video, and we've been doing this 5 seasons together, Peter. We offer at collegefootballwinning.com a free weekly pick. So you can go, and we've been doing that for 5 seasons. Every week we will give it, during the regular season, we'll give 1 free weekly betting recommendations. And over the last 5 seasons, those free weekly betting recommendations, 1 per week, they're 60.32% against the spread. So they're doing phenomenally well. And this year, they're 7-1 against the spread. So you just come to us, you sign up for the free weekly pick, and every week you check in with us, and we'll give you 1 free weekly betting recommendation. But for those of you who want the full gamut, and I hope that's most of you, go to collegefootballwinning.com, put in coupon code SBR10, it's SBR10, and you'll get 10% off of any membership that we're currently offering. And we still offer a 100% money-back guarantee on the rest of the season. I think we're the only company to do that. If you don't profit, we don't win at a rate greater than 52.38%, then you'll get all of your money back that you spent with us if that's your option.
That sounds great, Steve. Thanks so much.